just as excited to do the intro as I was 10 minutes ago.
Right?
And you just did it for us.
Yeah. Welcome to looking through the glass. Our intros are never dull for us. We can't let them be dull. That just really makes it very boring, in my opinion. So, welcome to Looking Through the Glass with Jeselle and Sela, and today we have Malisa Hepner. Um, Honestly, I'm with you, Mom. I don't know how to even start
Don't know
this.
how to really start this one.
So,
So okay, we're gonna get Melissa's son's story. Melissa's. You want to go ahead and take it?
Sure. So I lost my son in December. He was 18, a few months shy of 19, and he apparently I didn't have a single clue he was using pills, but thought he was buying Percocet, bought a manufactured pill, and in that pill had a synthetic opioid in it called cyclorphine, and it is 10 times more potent than fentanyl, and Narcan resistant is what they call it, and it pretty much killed him immediately. He was in our home, and his brother and I found him, so that's been its own little traumatic stuff to deal with.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so we're just kind of talking about that.
So I know that you've been working with like the different news outlets and everything that you possibly can do to get this information out there, because there's just really not, in my eyes, enough of information, because this isn't hit every state yet. This drug has not hit every state yet, but it is fastly moving. It is moving so fast, and it's so scary because it is Narcan resistant. It is all of our medical ways of getting somebody out of an overdose resistant in every which way, even with epinephrine, from what I've heard. I could be wrong. Don't hold me on that, but I've even heard
Yeah.
I've
I
even
mean, I
heard with
know that
epinephrine that can't.
it takes a lot. Like, they were saying that, like, when they say Narcan resistant, it's because, like, it would take probably 4 or more times the normal dosage. A lot of first responders don't even carry that much on them.
Yeah, yeah. So, wow. Um, damn, girl, I don't even know how to like. Like I feel bad because I'm not even kind of like being prepared as a podcaster,
That's
but
okay.
uh,
I mean, I appreciate your reverence to the subject
yeah,
because
no.
it's
So
not just,
so
any other thing to talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. My question. Hmm. Really trying to think of how to put this question. 'Cause I have a question that's like inside of me, but you know how it just isn't quite formed yet.
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah.
you're like, you have the feeling of the question coming up, but it hasn't quite formulated into a thought
Yeah,
fully
yeah.
yet.
That happens to
So
me, yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at. So this is a question that I know is going to be coming from somewhere, but I haven't formulated the question yet. Um, so I know you were a therapist and all of that, but like, fuck, how do you even begin? Like, I don't even know. Like, where do you even begin with any of that?
I love this
I mean, if
question,
you don't mind me
actually.
asking.
Yeah, no, I love it. Truly, I would say in the earliest days, it was all the tools that I'm constantly teaching other people. Honestly, grief really, this is what I've really learned, because I know you know this, but I also lost my dad 30 years prior. Pisces transits tend to give me overdoses in my family. So 30
I'm a
years
Pisces.
prior to losing Jake, I lost my dad in a very similar manner. He died of an overdose in a fucking Dairy Queen bathroom.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yes. And so I recognized, as I was being very curious about my responses to grief, I recognized that that was the beginning of me pushing everyone away. The story in my head was that they weren't showing up for me correctly. Granted, 15-year-old peers don't know how to show up for somebody who's lost their dad, but I definitely saw, oh, that was the beginning of some real protective barriers that I was placing. And so that was kind of the very first thing, was being curious about all of that I had brought into this particular grief process. And I lost my mom at 22 related to addiction. She had cirrhosis and hep C, and while she was hospitalized, we found out she was HIV positive. But yeah, I think I was just really curious about my responses. And I think two things that were very important to my particular grief process was, I did not, and again, I would credit tools for being able to do this. I understand not everybody could do this. I did not get lost in the would've, could've, should've's. Like, when you lose a child in this way, in something that's completely preventable, and something related with so much stigma attached to it. I know people who are experiencing the same loss right now and are not talking about it because of their own shame. I refused to live in shame around this. I didn't fucking take the drugs. I didn't know he was doing the drugs. You know what I mean? It's not like, yes, as his mom, I can say there are thousands of things that I could have, probably should have, and would have done differently if I had known what the outcome would be after almost 19 years of raising this child. And there's nothing I can do now. So why would I sit in suffering around decisions that I can't change? I'm not blaming myself, but as his mom, there are lots of things I could have done differently. I don't know for sure that it would have changed the outcome. Who knows? I mean, because of my own spiritual beliefs, I believe this was how it was always going to end for him. But I really just lean into the fact that as a human, I don't deserve to suffer through this loss. Is it painful? Yes. But the suffering comes from all that fear and all that shame and drowning in all of the would've, could've, should've's. I believe. That's my personal belief. And so for me, that was important from the very beginning. That's how I got through the earliest days. The truth is, I have to be very intentional about making sure I am addressing this often, because my little nervous system is very good at protecting me. So, and one of the ways that I organized my life related to the grief was only doing things that light me up. I dropped clients that were annoying me. And they were only annoying me because they were inconsistent. Let me make that clear. But if they started like being wishy-washy, done. I stopped saying yes to most people who asked to come on my podcast because I wanted to have very specific types of conversation. Nothing that like drained my energy at all, because that was another thing I noticed is like, wow, grief really makes you tired. And I am more irritable. I am more tired. Like a soul level, it's hard to get things done kind of tired. I struggle through administrative tasks that used to be very easily done for me, but like I just organized my life in a way that was really conducive for grief, and still my nervous system and my brain protect me from this loss a lot. I can not think about this at all if I choose to. Like, aside from like, every time I go on Netflix, there's his profile, like it says Jake, right? None of us will go on it because we don't want anything to get messed up with it. But, there's things like that. So, but I have to be like, man, I'm feeling more agitated lately. Okay, if I'm not tired, I'm not hungry, it means that I've been avoiding my feelings. So, like, I just sit and get really still. But I really think my nervous system has organized this in a way that it trickles in small doses. But I think it is mostly because of how I've organized my life. I focus on like fun, joy, peace, enjoying my family, and I don't like have a job that makes me miserable, because I think that's another reason people really struggle so much is
I agree.
Going to work, they're dealing with stuff that's stressing them out all the time. I don't have to do anything.
They're dealing with things that eat them alive every single day, and then they don't realize how much it's eating them alive until this horrible weight of grief and all
Right.
of the effects that come along with the grief, because grief is just one of those emotions and one of those things that all humans go through. But when we do go through them, it's you can't measure. It's immeasurable pain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Well, and
It's an immeasurable pain that to me.
it's so heavy. That's the thing
Yeah,
that I was like,
yeah.
wow, I can't believe I never noticed this before in my other grief. Because, I've also lost the grandma who raised me. I mean, really, like,
You've
everyone's gone. So, but I was really good at pretending like it was fine for years. But this, when you lose a kid, like, you don't get to pretend things are fine,
you
you know? But it's just how heavy everything feels. It's like all of a sudden you've been fitted with this 30-pound backpack, and no matter what you do, it's just like there weighing you down. And I think the most surprising thing has been the PTSD from all of it. Like, it,
were you not expecting that?
I was, but here's a really good example. I was at our little Six Flags water park a couple of weeks ago, and I've always been afraid of like going down the slides and stuff. I used to make myself do it because my first husband loved it, and then I did it with the kids when they were little, and thankfully Charlie quit liking them, so I just haven't had to do it. But my oldest went with us. He wanted someone to ride with him, so I was like, I'll do. This was not a big slide. It was nothing that it was that serious. I've ridden it hundreds of times, but we get to the top, and I was like, oh my god, that part's not covered, like the tube, like I wanted it to be fully covered. I couldn't. I started to panic, like it was rising, and it was getting worse and worse and worse, to where I was like, Bryson, I'm so sorry, I can't do this. I had to take my adult ass past all these kids, walking down the stairs and leaving the ride, because I just couldn't, like, the panic was so big. And like, we got a puppy right after Jake died. She was born a couple of days before, but we got her when she was 7 weeks, and I had a couple of, oh my god, she's gonna be dead when I go in there. Like, those first couple of weeks were full of panic, because I couldn't, it's so hard to soothe that particular response. And like, every morning I am afraid I'm gonna wake up and my husband's gonna be dead in the bed every day. So it's like, I knew PTSD would happen, but I wasn't expecting
Not
it to
in the way
take up so
that
much
it
space.
is.
Yeah, it's very scary. And to be clear, because I lost my dad at 15, that all of these things have always been a fear. I have always been afraid of finding one of my family members dead. Like, always. So
I remember us talking about that before. You were saying something about that. Yeah. You were saying,
always. But it's like so much worse now. Because like, now I know it really can't happen. But that's the stuff that's like, you don't see that, like, no, people don't know that I'm constantly having to self-soothe. Like with Millie the puppy, after a couple of weeks, I had evidence that I presented to my nervous system and said, the baby's fine. See how she's been fine all those times when you thought she was dead? And we've been able to work through that. But like, the flashbacks are a lot less intense than they were for a little bit, but those were really intense too. And I know my oldest was really struggling with flashbacks too. So that's all just added stuff. Like, people think grief is just being sad. It's so much more than that.
Much more.
I am so tired. You know what I mean?
You're actively fighting, and like you said, you have to be so active in your intentions and in paying attention to every single little, it doesn't matter. Like for me, I'll get a little pain on the side of my head or on the back of my head, or I'll have the, like, I'm not going through the type of grief that you're going through. I'm going through my own individual type of grief.
Right.
But and you know of it, and other people on here know of the type of grief that I'm going through. I mean, completely two totally different things, but still grief.
Yep.
And like, so I can only imagine. Like, I know how tired I am, And I know how the mundane tasks you're like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. You
Well, and
know?
it's weird because my brain, like, I'm a Gemini, so I'm a talker. I love to talk. But a lot of that talking even included like text communication, and now I can get so overwhelmed so quickly by a text message that's like really long that I've
Mm-hmm.
never been the person to ignore people on my phone. I fucking have to all the time ignore people because I have to just put the phone down because I'll just start flooding with too much. Like, oh, I need to think, what is this? How do I respond? All these things. These simple little things don't organize well in my brain anymore. Like, even when you sent me the sign up link, having too many options for when to choose, I was like, oh my God, I don't even know. Like, when, because I had to look at my calendar and then look at yours. It was too much. Like, it
It's
took me a little
so
bit to sit and be able to do
overwhelming.
that. Yeah. Those are the things
I
people don't understand about grief is like truly it's impacting your entire nervous system.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And a lot of people don't understand that, if you're not actively and you had the tools, you've gone through
Right.
schooling, you've gone through all of these other educational things that you've done to get these tools, and stuff like that. And if you don't have the tools, because it takes an immense amount of tools, and I'm still gathering mine. I still have my distancing times. You know what that means. I had one not too long ago where I literally almost took myself out because of that. I got that distant. A trigger happened, and I didn't even. It's like, why would that even be a trigger? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how can that even be a trigger? It's like, I never ever in my life have I thought about something like that being a trigger, and then now all of a sudden it's like I'm freaking out and I'm losing my mind over this one little thing, and I literally it was a very difficult day, but we got through it. I'm doing better.
Good.
But yeah, I know for me personally, distancing. I distance for myself from all the traumas that I've been through, and
Mm-hmm.
and when that fuck it Sela comes out, there's no talking to her. There's no talking to her.
See, and here's the deal. That book that I told you about the first time we ever talked, the Finding Peace workbook, uh, I learned that the fuck it was a shadow of shame. It's an archetype of shame. And it's
Is
the
it?
thing, yeah. And like literally, it's called the rebel. And that's what I would hear the fuck it before I would scream at people.
Yep.
Namely my
Yep.
family. And so, like, because I didn't understand, I'd be trying to logic my way through it. So, so many people talk about mindset. Yes, mindset matters, but when you're dealing with feelings, your mind shouldn't have shit to do with it. But I'd be over here like, Melissa, you know better. Melissa, do this. Or even, here's a tool. But the right tool is what is going on? You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
I'd be trying to like, don't do it, shut your mouth, shut your mouth. And then the rebel would come in and be like, shh, fuck it. And that's when I would just unleash everything that I'd been holding in, trying to use willpower and motivation to not let out. And then I would do that and I would release it. And then the cycle of shame would start again. But it is the archetype of shame that allows us to self-sabotage, because that's what it is. When we get triggered to that magnitude and we lose control completely to where we're having those types of thoughts, it really
Mm-hmm.
is self-sabotage. And so often it's the reason what can trigger you to that level. You can get to this hopeless helpless feeling so fast when things are good, faster even than when they're bad. And that's how you know it's related to self-sabotage. That's what I've been learning, especially through this Mercury retrograde, is learning how to hold excitement and hold joy, because my nervous system is wired to view those things as very unsafe. Because I learned a long time ago, when things are going good, they're gonna go bad. I can't get my hopes up too high, because every time something good happens, something bad happens to balance it out. Or because of old religious programming, I'm being taught a bad lesson, like punished for something that I did. Or even spiritual programming, where you think it's karma because a good thing happened and then maybe you didn't hold it correctly, so now a bad thing happened. All of those things are just stories that have programmed our nervous system. And so I've really had to learn how to hold good, like I've actually had so many good things happening for me, specifically the last couple of months. Like, my manifesting is off the charts these days. And so it's scary as all hell when whenever good stuff happens. I have such a hard time believing it's going to be okay, because what comes up must come down, kind of. And so
Yeah.
I'm so afraid that means when I get really good, I'm going to get really bad, things like that. That's the stuff that will cycle you through hopelessness and helplessness faster than even the really bad stuff that happens, because we've been trained on how to deal with the bad stuff, right? We know
that part.
even if we do it in an unhealthy way, like, even
we know how to get through it.
We know we're survivors, right? That is part of what we view ourselves as. So we're like, hey, bring on the bad, I got this. But you give me something good, you're going to find me in a fetal position in the corner, because I don't know how to hold that. And that's the things I've been working on, is like, hey, it's safe to receive. It is safe to trust in you, in the universe, in anything that you want to trust in. And one big thing too that I've really come to, because all of the manifesting started with me having this breakdown one day, because I was under a lot of stress financially and just everything. There was just so much going on. And I was like, okay, I hear you're supposed to ask your spirit team for help. I never do, because since I left religion, I don't really pray or do anything like that, right? But I was like, spirit team, I need relief. I need relief so bad. And I was just bawling. But through that, I worked through some stuff, and I was like, I really do have to understand that I already earned anything. If I feel like that, need to strive, to achieve, to be productive, to whatever, in terms of receiving the things that I'm asking for, I can rest in the fact that I've already earned it. If you had to, I don't believe we have to, but if you had to, I've already done that. I've survived the worst of the worst. I've continued to serve. I mean, it's self-serving too, but I'm serving, the community in the stuff that I'm doing. But
absolutely, you are.
I don't think we have to earn anything, but if we did, I've already done it. And I earned all of my worth and value as a human the second I landed on this planet. I was born, and I was born with all the worth and value I'm ever going to have, and you can't lose it. You can't do anything to lose it. And that was the very opposite of the programming that I was raised with, which is no matter what you do, you're never worthy of the gift that God gave you, the son of his, the life of his son, all the things. You're never going to be worthy. And that programming messed me up, man. It really did, because then I really looked at things as punishment versus reward. And now I just see everything's working out in my highest good all the time. Even when I don't have evidence, I've been receiving evidence, so that's nice. But I'm also learning how to see joy as evidence, and I'm learning that abundance is more than money. And so I don't remember how the hell we got on that subject, but holding good things, my nervous system gets very scared of good, and so that's when that particular archetype of shame will show up, when you're scared of success. Self-sabotage every time when things are going a little too good, some trigger happens, and all that work.
Yep. And then I'll sit there, and I was like, I sat there and I was like, in the midst of it, I was like, Sela, what are you doing? You look like a freaking idiot, And I'm sitting there beating myself up while I'm experiencing a traumatic experience. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I know that is a trauma. It's got to be a trauma response to it. Because why else would I be beating myself up? Because we're not meant to beat ourselves up.
Right.
You know, we're not meant to not love ourselves or think that we're not enough. We are supposed to, just like you said, we came on this planet, we were brought into this planet, as when we came out of our mother, we came with enough. We are enough. We are everything. And we absolutely have the power to get through all of this. And it's not, this world isn't a punishment, or I do believe somewhat that there are things that you need to learn and lessons you need to learn, but I think that they're more of the to not be bitter and to hold space for love. That's what I think that we are. I think that's what, in my own personal opinion, that's what I think that people, especially like us, who have been through so much. And Jeselle, I see you're crying.
I know. I just saw you were wiping your tears. I was like, oh my God,
I've seen it before when you were talking, and I'm sorry, I can't ignore it, honey.
Are you okay?
Not good news.
I'm just going through it.
Yeah. Fucking retrograde.
And then I walk in and come back in and I hear Melissa talking about all of it, and it's like, fuck, you're just seeking everything for me. I'm trying to keep and stay positive with everything. Like, my house is literally falling apart. And, not trying to get off subject, and I'm like mad because I'm sitting here missing your story because I'm dealing with insurance companies. And I'm trying to show up for my guests and be here for you because you're doing something that, I appreciate for our podcast. And it's just, they're just telling me where to stand, so I have to pay out of pocket for a plumber to come out and fix the situation before they can do anything. And the financial struggles right now, and just, it's
a lot, yeah.
Up.
No, it does. Fuck. I know, believe me, I know.
And trying to be positive through it is so fucking hard. Going, we're gonna get through it, it's okay, it always works out at the end. But some days it's just really fucking hard to feel that way.
And you don't have to. Like, you were given the full range of emotions for a reason, right? You don't have to pretend things are fine when they're not fine. This is something someone told me, and I'm repeating it a lot, so let me not take credit for this, but it's really helped in terms of when you're trying to get somewhere financially, whatever. You have to know where you started. If you use a GPS and you put in your location that you're trying to get to, it's going to ask for your current location to create the route for you, right? So it would be really silly to completely ignore where we're starting from. How are you going to get where you're going if you can't even admit where you are? So that's been very helpful for me. I will be like, oh, right. And it just helps. It's a trigger to remember I was provided all the range of emotions, which means I have access to them at all times. And resistance keeps you stuck. So if the more you try to be positive and pretend like shit's not fucking up in your life, the longer shit fucks up in your life. Because it is, those things are our teacher. And so much of the lesson really is it safe enough to admit when things really fucking suck? I'm safe enough to admit when things really fucking suck. I mean, that's I've been on the other show. I've talked a lot about my financial journey over, especially the last 6 months. And when I was able to stop bypassing and just be like, this really fucking sucks, then I can get curious about my responses. Like Sela recognizing that she started having like ideation over a trigger. She got curious about that. And for you, just notice what comes up. Like, am I feeling shame because I'm living in a house that's falling apart? And, for me, I'd be like, my kid is in this house, or blah, blah, blah. I would make it all about me as a mom and how I'm feeling and whatever. That's what I would do personally. But whatever's coming up for you specifically, that's your teacher. So if you were to ignore the fact that bad shit's happening and pretend like things aren't coming up, where are you going to learn from this, right? I mean, I don't think all bad things happen just so we can learn. I view them pretty equally to good things, but I do believe they all work out in our highest good. So if that's true, then there's got to be something in here for you to learn. Even if right now it's to learn, it's okay to say things really fucking suck right now. I personally would be trying to do the little things that will give me little bursts of happiness. Like, because you can only do what you can do about this situation, right? Well, when it gets this overwhelming and this compounded because it's this and then this and then this and then this, it's hard to get any of it done. It's hard to tackle any of it because, oh my God, I'm flooding and I'm like, so stressed about all this. But if you can find little pockets of joy, yeah, little playing a card game with your husband, where you both just say, for this 10 minutes, we'll pretend like our house is not falling apart around us, and we'll get out of the house. That I like avoidance, just getting the fuck
yesterday,
out.
Okay. She came and picked me
I'd get the fuck out every day. I'd be like, I guess we gotta go and do something else with air conditioning.
I can come get you again today. Like, it is what it is. I can come get you. We can go hang out in the pool for a little bit. At least the pool chemicals will be right this time.
Avoidance is my go-to sometimes. It's like, I don't want to deal with anything.
You run to that. You're doing what you can do. You just spoke to the insurance company, right? It's not like you buried your head in the sand. That's literally all you can do right now. You did what you could do.
The next step is finding a plumber and finding the money to pay for that plumber, and that's what my next steps are, in all honesty, and getting somebody out here between today and tomorrow, because they did get us a hotel room for the next 2 days until the insurance adjuster and all that figure out the claims. They are trying to help us. It's just per what's in the policy is, what's really hard on top of it is that we're not taught on how to handle these situations, like how to handle homeowners insurance. Like,
right.
I call, who I call? I call my mom and Joey. That's who I call. Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Because this is my first time. This is my first rodeo. And even then, some people, it's their third rodeo and they don't know what they're doing. And so that, like, and that comes into stem with it. Like, okay, I don't know how to handle this, and I call my mom every time something goes wrong, and I start bawling. And I'm just like, I'm fucking done. Like, this happened, and I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore.
God, but that's such a natural response. That's human. I mean, I try to remember I'm human here first, because if I wanted to be a fully enlightened being, I wouldn't have come to Earth. I would have stayed wherever that realm is. You know what I mean? Whatever that realm is.
Why did my ass stay up there? Or why didn't I?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, well, that's been a thing too. Like, when we talk about assigning meaning in grief, like, that was one of the earliest things too, was like, all right, man, I do have a belief system that I believe in reincarnation, and that I chose this experience, that I picked my little soul family. And I said, okay, self, listen, we really signed up for some shit. We really did. And I hate us for that a little bit. I really do.
A little. I resent myself a little bit.
Yes. I was like, highest self, fuck you. Okay. Fuck you a little bit for this. And, okay, I'm gonna try to do whatever it was I set out, like, with all this. Like, I'm gonna try to go ahead and just accomplish what I'm supposed to. And careful what you ask for. I did have to check in and go, but not. I mean, you can calm down with the bullshit too. That's fine. I don't need to learn everything I signed up for. Let's calm down a little bit, universe. Let's calm down. But, like, I'm like, okay, I signed up, and life is gonna be struggle. And so I'm allowed to go, you guys, this really fucking sucks right now. Like, it sucks so bad. I'm in a season right now of things are pretty okay, but like they weren't. And I was really scared for a little bit of like, what am I going to do? Because nothing's getting better financially. And I'm still scared because things have gotten lots better. And now I'm like,
Oh crap.
having trouble accepting that and being afraid of going backwards and, you know, all of that. So I totally get it. And it's totally fine to admit that things suck. But even like you showed up today, like you will feel a lot better after this conversation just because you're enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like we have to just do the little things to get through. That's all that it's about, is finding little pockets of joy. We're not going to be happy 24/7. We're just not. I mean, last week I was finding myself to be like either neutral or pretty unhappy a lot of the days. But I like, okay, well, what can this hour look like? Can I have a good hour? And so I just kind of took advantage where I could, you know, and just accepted like, all right, shit, Mercury's in retrograde in Cancer, so I guess I'm gonna be sad. I don't know. This is just happening right now.
And that's definitely been it's been like that for me for a couple weeks now. Um Trying to find myself in a happy trying to find my happiness, if that makes sense. Um
I'm so sorry. I think these little girls are at my door right now, and they're making Millie freak the fuck out. I'm gonna have to go cuss at them real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Little
She's
girl.
like, I have to go cuss at them.
And I'm just
Over it.
I am. I'm over it because it's like right now, and this all is stemming from last year in October.
Mm-hmm.
Eh,
Yeah, I
I've been
know.
dealing with all this since October, and it's been, starting to, get better, and then something explodes in our faces, and then we're, dealing with it again, and then it's like, okay, we're getting better, and then it explodes in our faces again, and it's just it's been almost a year now. Can we stop now? Can something just,
Just give me a break. A little bit. A
Okay,
little bit of a break.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna ask you to take this in the spirit in which I intend it. I was told, take this for what you will. I was told when you have money and then it like leaks out like this, when it has to, like, you're constantly having to spend it on some shit like this, that it is related to blocks because of your self-worth. And so
That sounds
I've been
very,
working
very,
really
very
hard
much.
on my beliefs around worth, which is why I was having that conversation with my spirit team that day and understanding I was born with all my worth and value. I don't have to do anything to earn it. And it can also be a form of self-sabotage, like almost willing, I'm not saying you did, but almost willing bad things to happen because it's too scary to hold money. It's too scary to hold good. It's too scary to hold positive. Like, we have all experienced so much shit, the three of us, that
Yeah.
imagine, like, if you really think about it, like, really think about how fucking scared you get when things go right. I get maybe 5 seconds of pure unbridled joy, and then the
And then
fear
everything floods
hits.
in.
Yes, I am so scared. And one of the things that I've gotten so good at through grief is being so present with my body. And I started to notice I have these weird full body electrical sensations, like from my nervous system. There's like zzz, it's like really quick, and it's like starts in my stomach and just goes everywhere, and it's like zzz, and I'm like, oh, I'm freaking the fuck out. I get that.
You want to know what my therapist
happen.
calls those? My therapist calls those, for me, those are my mini seizures. Those are me getting ready to have a seizure. because I go into what the shivers or shakes. I'll shake. And Giselle, from all the stress and from after giving birth, being in postpartum, body healing, hormones, all of that, we watched her go through it a couple of different times, where her whole body
whenever
just
you were on my show last, we talked about like how we've had to use weighted blankets and things like that. I have definitely had like everything's like it's not cold but I'm shivering, but this is like a zap. It's very quick, and it like I don't know how I never noticed this before. That's how disconnected I was, I guess. But like now I'm like, oh shit. But it happens more from good stuff than it does bad. Like I got accepted into a thing where I'm going to speak at Southern Illinois University for, I don't even know what, I don't remember what I signed up for, but when I got accepted, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. They accepted me. And then that was it. Like, then the imposter syndrome and the, do I really want to do this one? You know, what's the right path? Like all these like, and then I had to be like, you know what? We're just going to have fun. Like, just go do it and have fun. And why are you doing this to yourself? But I freak out. So I'm not saying we bring everything on ourselves. I am not saying that. But I am saying we make specific moves based off our subconscious beliefs, because we have to make our outer world match our inner world. So like, yeah, it's not your fault that your house is flooding. But I do wonder if there was like a time you were overwhelmed that you knew of something related that could end up costing you a lot of money that you didn't deal with because you were overwhelmed. But sometimes we don't deal with things when we're overwhelmed as a form of self-sabotage. So that's what I'm saying, is that I've really, really, really worked on my self-worth stuff, and I'm afraid to say it out loud, but you know, things be working. So I think there's truth to that.
Sense it does, and I can see where you're stemming from on it. Still doesn't stop
It makes
the
a lot of
stress.
sense.
No, and that's the thing. You're stressed, so be stressed. I mean, the things that you can do right now are love yourself anyway, forgive yourself for being in a position where, like, because the shame's going to hit you. The shame is going to hit you because you don't have the money to fix it. Because if you just had an endless amount of money, this would not be that big of an issue, right? Right.
They would just handle it and be done with it.
Right. You'd be like, oh, okay, let me just write you a check real quick. No worries, no worries. But that's not where you're at. So yeah, you're going to be feeling all the, and this is why we should have had a savings account. And this is why we should have da-da-da-da-da. And then also the stay-at-home mom guilt. There's all of the shit that's going to hit you.
And that is the hardest.
That you can deal with. That's how you can deal with this, is don't flood yourself with shame. Stress is one thing, but to feed that with all these thoughts of like how you could have avoided this or whatever else, is that going to change the fact that you're fucked right now?
Can I just say that most of the time, shame comes from someone else and has been projected onto us as children, and this is a trauma response or a response because you have been traumatized so bad and so much shame has been thrown onto you, and you are a Cancer, and you were a person that lived in trauma, grew up in a very chaotic, volatile, it was more than chaotic, it was a volatile household with a angry, drunk stepdad that did nothing but make up lies on you to get you in trouble and all of this stuff. Do you think that that's all playing a part in right now? All of that crap is playing a part in your mental right now. You know, it's not you. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You did everything you have been able to do, even when you made the
like
decisions.
Good girl shit, you know, where you think you weren't a good girl because things went wrong, and you've been programmed to believe everything's your fault. So
yeah,
That's the first
You
thing that's
have.
going to come up. And then especially when you throw in some mom shit, when you're worried that you're failing your kid in some way, it just compounds everything. But that is why I liked that book I talked about, because breaking down the different archetypes of shame, I would know when that's what was coming up. So the royal or the judge would come in, Melissa, you know better than that. You shouldn't be doing that. You're a piece of shit. And then the royal would come in and be like, yeah, but I wouldn't have done that if they hadn't done this. And now I'm mad at everyone around me because I don't want to feel the judge. So now I can be mad at everyone else and project and do all the shit. Again, that's still shame. And then the rebel can come in and tell me, fuck it, let's just go do whatever to escape or avoid or numb. Whatever self-sabotaging behavior I can throw in right now, I'm going to do that. Shame comes up in all these different ways. And that's why I was in the mental health crisis that I was in, because it was all too much. And it felt like me talking to me, but it was these different voices. And so when I got like a name to those voices, I was like, I'm not crazy. Like, obviously, if they wrote a whole book about this and there's all these archetypes that they describe that I'm seeing perfectly well in my own brain, I'm not crazy. This is actually a thing. And so I just leaned in and I was like, oh, I'm noticing. I love to blame others, actually. For me, my royal was my biggest protector. It kept a barrier between me and everyone else, so I could blame everyone else for every bad thing that ever happened. I mean, initially, my first thought is like, I'm a piece of shit, but then I'm like, oh, no, we are not, no. So I'm gonna be mad. I mean, that was a huge source of contention between my husband and me, is everything was his fault. All the time. Like, well, I know that you are at fault for this somehow. I'm still working on the how, but I am sure it's your fault. I'm sure it is. So it's that stuff. Like, yes, shame will make everything worse. And emotions, including stress, can pass in 90 seconds or less if you're not feeding them with all of the intellectualization. So those moments where it feels really just too much, that's when I stop and I get really still. I notice what's happening in my body. Where's their tension? I don't try to fix it. I don't try to analyze it. I just go, oh. Like last night, I was doing a solo episode and I was giving an example of that. And so I was like, okay, so I'm just going to tune into my body. And I was like, okay, I'm noticing that my right shoulder is really tight and there's some pain there. I'm noticing this. And I'm just going to be still and I'm just going to notice that. And I started to cry. So like, just being in tune is a really good step. And then saying, hey, we're safe. Like, yeah, things suck really bad right now, but right now I can forecast all the things that could possibly go wrong in this situation, but that's just my brain filling in the blanks so that it can have certainty, because that's what our brains need. And right now, none of those things have happened. A lot has happened, and it's fair to be stressed over it, but the worst thing that you're thinking hasn't happened yet. So like, right now we are safe. And I have had, this is the big lesson for cancer in general, especially if you have prominent placements in cancer, is to become your own best mother. I coddle the shit out of myself now. We had all this messaging about how coddling is bad and it doesn't create independence and blah blah blah. Y'all, I talk to myself like a 3-year-old all the time. I'm like, oh, honey, what happened? All the time. All the time. I'll be in the shower and be like, honey, you seem really upset. What happened? And I'm like crying to myself like a little kid. And like, oh, and I'm like, oh, that must have been so tough. And you felt so scared. Yeah, I would feel scared too. I coddle myself. And because I got to where I was really comfortable doing it, I don't even have to do that as much anymore. But I was doing it like 6-7 times a day where I was like, what's wrong? And that's how we should be spoken to as humans. We should not be like, why are you upset about this? No, girl, what's wrong? You know what you need. And then give yourself what you need. You need a hug? Do you need a little sweet treat? Do you need a walk? Do you need a massage? You know what I mean? Like, what do you need? And give yourself those things.
Yeah, Mom, it's all your fault. He never coddled me.
Mama, you was a bitch.
I know I was. No, she's right. She is right. I was
such a bitch.
So
I had to just make a joke out of it because I just.
But in all honesty, she's not. You're not wrong.
No,
you're not
you're not.
wrong, because I I didn't protect you at times that I should have. There's times that I have chose other people over you. There's times that I've done things that the shoulda, couldas, and wouldas, but didn't. There's a billion of those. I'm just glad that I get the opportunity to say I'm sorry and I want to be better now. I just glad I have that opportunity.
Bryson always gets really uncomfortable with stuff like this too, and I'm like, well, it's because you had a mom who da 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 da, and he's always like, I mean, I did, but it's really uncomfortable that you're saying that.
It's because we've done a lot of changing.
Yeah, I'm like, I can admit that I did that. I don't have a problem admitting. I mean, I don't love that I was like this fucking basket case, but I think the more that I'm able to accept that I did those things and say, well, of course I did. I didn't even have access to the rational, logical parts of my brain. I was in literal survival mode. And I think it's given, now that he's 23, it's given him the opportunity to be like, man, how could I expect somebody who grew up without parents to know how to parent me? Like, somebody who was literally just trying to not be anything like the family she came from, all of those things. Like, I can see where it would be very difficult to have any clue on how to parent anyone when you had no examples of healthy parenting. And I'm like, well, thank you for that. That doesn't mean that your feelings are not valid, but I appreciate your love and concern for me. But I was a piece of shit, and I can admit that.
Well, it kind of goes back to where you were saying, the roadmap thing. It goes right back to that. The Google thing. If you aren't able to say where you are, it cannot give you directions on where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. And so much of the joy that you get in this life is from the contrast. When you compare who you were to who you are now. Even like someone said it, and I really liked it said this way, that darkness expands your capacity for light because you only get the amount of light that you've experienced in darkness. So like the harder things get and the bleaker they seem, in essence, then the smallest amount of light, you're like, caw!
Yeah.
Yay, a little light! I've never been more grateful for a little flashlight.
Even if it is a train at the end of the tunnel, at least it's some light for a minute.
There's some light. Oh my gosh, I can see a little bit. And that was the truth for me, where I really could get to a place where I was super grateful for all that darkness that I experienced, because coming out of that, well, that's how I had a spiritual awakening. The desperation of like, I need something different. Being willing to look into astrology and not be so afraid to believe in something again. All of the things. And I can go, oh my gosh, I never would have gotten all of this if I hadn't gone through that. Some people will never reach that level of gratitude, and I am not shaming them for that. So, like, I don't want anyone to hear me and say, like, be grateful for the bad shit that happens, because I don't think that you have to. But I can appreciate the feeling of hopelessness and helplessness as compared to now light, joy, love, peace, abundance in the little things. And that really is where it happens, is the contrast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm willing to say I'm not saying I get it right still. I got a 12-year-old who gets on my last nerves, I mean, I'm not always like, but I'm not doing this.
I got a 13-year-old that gets on my last nerves.
Yeah. I'm still sometimes a yeller and a cusser, I'll be doing those things, but like, I don't shame, I don't criticize, I'm really open. I try to be a safe person for her to talk to.
Sorry, I'm dealing with insurance still.
You're fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, they're texting me and emailing me, and they're trying to get me into a hotel, but Melissa, what you had to say, I really appreciate it, and you've helped me get through the moment. And it's helping a lot, and I really do appreciate you. I love you. You're just amazing.
Oh, I love you too. It's hard. I mean, it's hard when you're dealing with like your house stuff. It is the scariest shit ever. It really is. But that's when, like, just remember, you're expanding your capacity for safety. You are the one who creates that container. it was made kind of in a fucked up way. Like, if somebody handed you like a can that was kind of smashed and whatever, you're now having to push out the sides of the aluminum and get it into a place where you can actually drink from this can. That's what this container is. And so that's the work, is going, I'm really scared right now. How can I make myself feel safe? And I don't think it's a coincidence that these things are happening during a Mercury retrograde in Cancer. There's a lot of really good opportunities coming, but you won't be able to hold those good things either if we can't learn how to feel safe in our own systems. Because that's what truly all of the work is about, is being able to be in your body, not leave yourself when things get really stressful. All the time, probably not, but just finding those pockets of joy, doing the things you can. I mean, literally, even if it means a candy bar, like getting those little dopamine hits wherever you can, as best as you can. And understanding that the more you do of that, it helps that messy middle part a lot better. Because I had to get to where I kind of viewed it, in my mind, I see things very visually, like people talk and it creates a visual image in my brain. And I got to where I kind of saw stress and really stressful situations as two mountaintops. And I was having to get from one peak to another peak with all this messy middle, and like I could fall into that middle gap. And I was like, okay, I always get from point A to point Z eventually, right? Like, I haven't died yet. I haven't fucking, succumbed to all of the things I've ever been through. Like, that saying, you've gotten through all your hard days or whatever. That's true. Like, I'm still here. I'm still breathing. So, what are the things that I have done in the past that have made that middle part far worse than they had to be? And how can I maybe do those a little bit differently? Not all of them, not perfectly, but each really stressful encounter, I just kind of go, what energy do I want to be in? When this is over, how do I want to feel? Well, I want to feel relief. I want to feel positive and optimistic. So I'm going to try to get into that energy right now. I have to feel safe enough to do that. I'm going to I go to my happy place. For me, I picture myself on the beach, like at sunset, where it's just over the horizon, and my arms are out wide, and I'm smiling. I'll picture that, and then feel a little better. That's the best escape you can give yourself. It's not avoidance; it's creating the energy that you want to be in. 10 minutes later, the stress may hit again, and that's okay. We're not asking any of this to not be a reality. We're just looking for little ways that we can get through it a little less of a white knuckle situation. Right now, you're contracted, you're bracing, you're fucking waiting for the next bad thing. What if we can just relax and feel safe and feel that fundamental support that we all have from whatever higher power we believe in, whatever it is. You have to believe it's a benefic force. It's here for your highest good, right? So trust in that.
Come out of my cup?
Do what?
I'm sorry. I thought she was laughing because there was a fly, I think, that came out of my cup, and I was looking, and I'm like, wait a minute. Sorry.
No, I've been watching the fly, and it's been tripping me out because I keep seeing something black go across your screen, and it's tripping me out.
I'm trying to get my coffee.
And I finally got rid of all the cans in my little area that were creating gnats that were going in front of my camera all the time. That was a good time for me. I'd be like,
she's over there looking like she's seeing things.
Yeah, because nobody else could see it either. Like, I was looking, I'm like, you can't really see it on the camera, but I can. So I'm like, oh yeah, totally listening. Yeah, what's going on?
I'm listening, I swear. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Melissa, we came on to talk about Jake, and we did talk about him a little bit, and I thank you for that. I guess we just kind of let the podcast take its natural course, the way we like to do things,
Yeah.
No,
especially with you.
Real life is happening today, man. Real life is real, and I get it. I really do.
If anybody understands, it's you.
Yeah. Listen, financial shit's the fastest way to get me just like under the rug. You know what I mean? Like,
Right?
that was the thing. Honestly, one of the reasons that I could get through the earliest days of Jake is because people had been so fucking generous with the GoFundMe. I wasn't having to stress about money during that time. Like, and then that became a stress. Like, when this money's gone, what am I going to do? And then, I mean, it was not as bad as I thought it would be, but it wasn't pleasant. And yeah, that was a lot of stress for me. That's why I was crying out. I need relief. Ask your spirit team to help you with the relief. I'm telling you, it really worked. Like, I don't use the word blessed ever, but I would say that like good things have happened recently. So I would say be open to receiving and work on creating the container of safety to be able to hold good things that come to you, because I think we have to go through the stressful times to create that container so that when the good times come, we see it. We're aware, like, oh, before I wouldn't have necessarily noticed this opportunity, but now I do, because fucking desperation will open your eyes really quick,
Yeah.
But again,
That is so
it's
true.
okay that you're feeling the weight of everything. You just try to white knuckle it a little bit less, like where you're doing your breathing. You know about breath work. Do that. Connect with your body. Crying is so good for you. Get a hug when you need it. You're a Cancer, so you really need some nurturing. Like you really, you got to learn how to like give that to yourself. Ask for it from other people. You're probably not all that touchy, but you got to become a little more touchy. Get some touch, some love.
Especially as
I wasn't. I'm projecting. I wasn't a touchy person before, so.
I'm
recently I
not.
haven't been.
Well, you probably
Overstimulates
touched
me.
out. You got a baby that touches you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sleeps next
That's
to
how
me.
I was too. I was always like, yeah, that's so sweet, but can you love someone else for a minute? I
Sounds
was
like me.
overstimulated a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that she's very overstimulated. Is the
Yeah, I
the
was
baby
too.
is very much mama, 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 mama,
hmm
mama.
Yeah, I was lucky because I don't know what it was, but Charlie really liked her dad more than me for so long. And I liked it because it was my third kid. So I was like, hey, we got a daddy's
We're
girl. That's
cool.
fine. Yeah, that's fine, honey. That's fine. And then one day it was like, Mom, you're the person I want to be with at all times. And her and Bryson are like that. I find myself a lot like we all went shopping the other day, and I thought she was going to look at her stuff, I was going to look at my stuff, he was going to look at his stuff, and we would reconvene. No, 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 no. Both these children, they wanted me with them for every step of the way. Like, why can't we just all look for her stuff and all look for his stuff, and then we'll help you look for your stuff? Y'all, I was such a bitch. I got told I was bringing down the vibes, and I was like, the vibes are off, friends. Like, they are off because I thought I was going to get to go over here. And Bryson was talking my ear off the whole time, and I'm trying to concentrate because the whole reason we were going is because we were going somewhere, and like I don't even know where half my clothes are. Most of them don't fit, but even the few little things that do fit, I don't know where they are. Like, I
Yeah,
can't find
no,
them.
I hear you.
So I was
I
like,
hear
oh, I'm
you.
gonna go find an outfit. And you know how it is. If you go to the store looking for an outfit, you're not gonna
It's
find an outfit. So
so
it was not going well,
frustrating.
and he was everywhere I turned, he was right there, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, it can be very overstimulating to have children around you.
That it is.
Regardless of their age.
Roto.
Oh, you're
That's so
29
real.
year
I
old.
just had to throw that in there.
Oh, so I
So real.
overstimulate you, Mom? Is that what it is?
No, actually. there comes a certain age where finally all that kind of goes away.
No, sometimes she overstimulates me. It's like, okay, Mom, I love you. I don't feel like talking right now. I am trying to find me. And then I'm like, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm listening to you. I love you.
No, I feel that. I feel that. I've kind of gotten that with everything though lately. Is like, I don't have the capacity for that. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't be there for you right now. I just can't.
It really sucks because both of us, we're very, very close. And both of us are going through our own BS. So it's like, I'm going through where I'm learning my capacities for things, and you know my story and my situation, and there's a lot of grief in there. There's a whole lot of grief in there,
Mm-hmm.
and but I have to say, my capacity through this, my capacity has gotten much bigger. My capacity to hold things and fill my cup, and to be able to have enough to to help fill other people's cups. I've been working on that, and working on filling my cup, whatever I gotta do, fill my cup,
Yep.
whatever it is I gotta
Yep.
do, because I'm lucky to even have a cup.
Yeah.
I got this cup now. Like, I've created the cup. I've got the cup now. Now it's okay. Fill me up, and
Yeah.
and I've been very, very open with right now I just don't have the capacity. My
Yeah.
apologies, but right now I just don't have the capacity. And learning to do that has been, especially being a people pleaser, like the two of us are, because we're very, especially with each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
guilty of it.
No, I
especially with
totally
each
get
other,
that.
because we've had that strained relationship, and now that we don't, we really, really, really respect the fact that we don't have that strained relationship, and so we also go into it going, oh, what is it, there's times I'll be like, oh no, what is Jeselle gonna think if I can't do this or whatever, but it all in the end, it's all works out great.
With her, I have to dictate. I'm like, okay, you're not making the decision. I'm making the decision for you. And then she's like, starts to protest. I'm like, shut the
I
fuck
have
up. I'm like, I already done made the
You don't
decision.
get
Shut
a
the
choice.
no. Like
No more.
because I know what it's like to be in that mindset and then trying to make a decision, and then you're feeling very torn, like I was earlier, very torn in the situation, and somebody just taking it and going, okay, let me just take the reins for you and make the decision for you, make it easy. Because there's no reason for you to feel bad for it. But it's so
Right.
easy for us to feel bad because once again, it's the self-sabotage. We're sitting here and we're beating ourselves down. We're feeling ashamed because we're not showing up. But sometimes showing up in a different way for ourselves isn't showing up like on here doing our podcast. Sometimes we are mental health, but so we need our mental health days because I'm not gonna lie,
Right.
We're
sometimes
mental health because we've been through shit. We're not mental health because we haven't been through anything. We don't know what it's like.
and
We're
Right.
mental
sometimes
health.
sitting here and hearing everything and talking to the people and talking about these things can be energy draining on top of it all. And man, sometimes
Yes.
I just feel the energy be sucked from me and I'm like, okay, I'm done for the day. I'm not doing anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'm going to say this very honestly. If you're doing things that are taking your energy, you have to reevaluate how you're doing them. Because
Hmm.
that's why I started saying no to so many people and wanting very specific types of conversation. They have to light me up. I don't have the energy. If it takes it, I'm fucked because I
Yeah.
already didn't have any. So I'm just going to leave that like that. But, like, think about how you could do it in a way that lights you up, because you shouldn't be doing anything that's draining. Like, it should feel like you were just given a huge gift in the conversation. Some of that is because you are a Cancer and you take on a lot of people's stuff, but, like, I still think you can be emotionally available with people and hear them and feel them and hold them and not feel super drained by the interaction. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we
Like,
got
if you don't
told.
have it to give, you don't have it to give.
I got taught the other day from another recording where this I can't remember her name right this second, but she told me she learned that take it like a hula hoop. They have their own hula hoop and you have your own. You can love them, you can help them through it, you can be there for them, but at some point they need to take on their own hula hoop, and you have your own you need to take care of. You instead of being one, you separate and you have two separate hula hoops. So you aren't taking on their load. It's still theirs. You're just helping them through it, and you're still carrying your own.
Absolutely. And you know what I notice about both of you? Sorry, this is maybe going to sound shitty, but you both have this tendency to feel like you're looking at things in this positive way, like I should be grateful for what I have, or what that the problems that are going on in my life aren't this problem and whatever, and that you're just minimalizing and trivializing your own experiences. And so a lot of times you guys are listening to these people talk, and then you're like, fuck, I can't believe I ever got upset over whatever. And now you're just in this fucking mental spiral, and you're hating yourself at the end of a conversation because you're like, I just need to be more grateful. And you got a lot to not be grateful for, Jeselle.
Damn, girl, you called us out
Goddamn.
so hard. You called us out.
I mean, you know what I mean?
So
but like, I
hard.
think you guys do that a lot, and I don't
do.
think that even needs to be a part of the equation. Like, my shit's my shit, your shit's your shit. I don't want either of the situations y'all got going on. None of that. I want none of it. If I'm being totally honest, I'll take my situation over either of yours right now. Okay? So like, y'all are like, oh my god, your kid died, and I'm like, he did, and it sucks. It really sucks. And
I'd rather not have my house fall apart.
I'd still take my situation over yours. Like that, I'm doing the exact opposite all the time. I'm not like, oh, I should be grateful, whatever. I'm like, oh no, I'm in my, this part sucks. I will deal with it. Whatever, your shit's your shit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel for you. I do. I feel real. Like my initial instinct when you're crying and whatever is like, oh my god, do I have any extra money? Like, if I was rich, I'd be like, I'll pay for your plumber, bitch.
Right?
But I don't have it, so I had to skip right past that one. I was like, no, baby, you don't. That's so cute, but I want to fix it, right? But I can't, and so even if I could, I shouldn't. Like, I could offer help and whatever, but that's just our natural. That's how we avoid feelings. It's so much easier. It would be so much easier, Jeselle, if I could be like, here's money to fix your situation, and now I don't have to hurt for you at all. That's so much easier than to be like, oh, I'm sorry, things are so hard. Like, I feel your pain in my chest. I can feel that. I'm gonna have to breathe it out when we're done, but I'm not gonna like wear it all day. I hate this for you. I hate it, but it can't be my situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I mean, that's where I get it. And I'm not going to dismiss anything about what you're feeling. I'm not even going to dismiss what I'm feeling about what you're feeling. But I do have to understand it isn't my shit. Yeah. I got my own shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you guys, it's okay to say, I have shit. Like, not everything's perfect. I don't have to pretend it's perfect. I don't even have to pretend it's great. And you can be grateful for the things that you're grateful and still say, and this other part really fucking sucks. But where we really can transmute and alchemize some shit is to go, this really fucking sucks, and I'm going to trust in myself that I can get through this. Because when we talk about trusting our higher power, that's all connected to how we trust ourselves. And just knowing it's not going to kill me. I've gotten through my worst days. This is going to be another worst day that I get through. I don't know how yet, and I'm really lost, but I'm going to find my way eventually. But the less you resist, and there's so much resistance in pretending that things are fine that aren't fine, or that it's not that big of a deal, or believing that somebody else has a worse scenario, whatever it is, that's how perfectionism gets us without even realizing, is that like, we think we're supposed to present in a certain way. And I think we can get really hard on ourselves if we are spiritual and in a mental health space, because we're supposed to, quote unquote, know better.
Right.
Yeah, I had to learn, like, oh, I still have to use the tools all the time. I'm gonna be triggered all the time still? What? Yep. Every day for the rest of your life, you're gonna have triggers and you have to use the tools. Weird. Okay. But I think that we think healing means getting to this place where none of that happens. But I think it just means when you heal, you learn how to stay with yourself. That you don't disassociate, you don't escape, you don't avoid, you don't self-sabotage, you just stay with yourself. You stay in your body, stay present to the moment, which means acknowledging it really fucking sucks and crying and feeling the stress and whatever else, but staying curious, knowing that how I respond to this means something about my programming and how I can work on my programming at all times and give my nervous system new experiences so that the next time it wants to fill in the blanks and have certainty, it's not going to reach for a catastrophe to fill in the blanks with. It's not going to go worst case scenario. It's going to give you one of the worst cases. You know, my brain still loves to do that, but it's going to be better every single time you give it a new experience to program from. So stop minimalizing your shits.
You called us out so hardcore on that, because that is the both of us. 100%. 100%. We absolutely minimize our crap and maximize everybody else's.
Well, just so you know, this is a way that we put either ourselves or someone else on a pedestal at all times. That's the way that we do it, because that pedestal creates separation and disconnection. And even though we need connection for survival, we are fucking terrified of it.
Yeah, we are. Because connection is in like, especially like with me, connection typically means pain.
It means it's unsafe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's unsafe. It's pain and on multiple levels. You know, intimacy,
all kinds of pain. Yeah, exactly.
Intimacy into my nervous system is nothing but danger. You try to get a little too intimate with, whether it be, not even in the physical realm, but even then, you know, there's, my body is at the point of where it's like, this is all danger. Like, we can have a conversation, but this is all danger.
No, I get that. I get that so hardcore. I've been putting out some solo episodes that I really feel like you guys would benefit from. But about this specific topic, I put out a bunch about why if connection is what we need for survival, why our brains are wired to disconnect us from others. Why do we feel so unsafe in connection? And how to know if the work you're doing is working, you know, like how will your nervous system respond if you're healing or whatever. And then today's episode was about like just different tenets of being emotionally unavailable, the way that we avoid connection. And where so many of us are getting it wrong is thinking that it is about being open to other people, and it is, but it's about staying with yourself and being able to share that with other people, not rushing to fix or rescue somebody else's situation to dismiss what you have going on in you. And I mean, if I'm being 1,000% honest, I did do a little of that by trying to make Jeselle feel better instead of like just being there to hold. I mean, I did what we all do. I jumped right in and was like, oh honey, you know, like it's not easy for me either. I want to fix it. I don't like seeing you in pain. I also want to feel like I'm good at making other people feel better. You know, like I'm a human. I did it too. Instead of being like, let's let you get all this stress out. You know what I mean? Like, say it out loud, all the things. So what I did was actually a perfect example of how we are getting it wrong. We have to learn how to hold our own pain when someone else is sharing theirs with us. That's the deal, is being able to stay with yourself and then allow someone else into that bubble with you. And I think that's what a lot of us are getting wrong, and most of us, I would say. And I would call myself like 40% emotionally available. Like, I try really hard, but it's a constant work. You know what I mean? Like, I literally did exactly what we always do. just jump in, give you a solution, you know, whatever. And then I didn't have to feel as bad watching you be sad, you know? Like, I did that for myself. I mean, yeah, I want to help you, but like, I was dismissing how I was feeling. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I feel deep empathy for this. And truly, I feel guilt. I feel guilt that my situation's gotten better over the last couple of months. I feel guilt. I feel guilt saying it. I feel guilt feeling it, because why? Why would I feel guilty? Because there's programming back here that says I don't deserve any more than someone else. And I don't. But it's not about deserving. But that deserving programming is there. You don't deserve that. Well, I don't either. None of us fucking deserve it. So why am I getting all wrapped up in that? You know? But that's like truly what happens is all these feelings come up in us. So we can't sit with one another and be like, tell me about your pain.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh.
Aw, Simon's going on.
Big dog did that the other day. I was crying about something and he came up. Oh, I was talking to one of his friends, the girl who got the tattoo. I was talking to her on the phone and we had never spoken before. And I started crying and Danny the dog came up and was like, you know, like checking on me, rubbing his face on me, all kinds of shit. It was so sweet.
No.
I was like, I'm okay.
Animals definitely know how to feel you and know how to give you that coddling.
He's definitely one of them. But,
yeah,
ladies, I love the conversation that I was a part of, because I know I was not here present for the first 25 minutes. Well, 20 minutes, I should say. Melissa, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I love having you on. I love talking to you. It's like talking to friends when it comes to this. Like, it really is.
It really is.
And then the
honesty,
the honesty that comes in and that's wrapped in it is just, it's wrapped with love. It's just.
It is wrapped with love.
I try. I'll be saying this to my clients too. I'm like, okay, I have to tell you something, but you're not gonna like it. Because I noticed this and I don't know how else to word it, so I'm gonna say it like this.
No, it's appreciated here, and
it's appreciated. Look, I got a warning, brutally honest, proceed
Call
with
me
caution
out.
sign right here, man.
Call me
Call
out.
us out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I do need to go handle
Because it
this.
goes-
All right. Hey, Giselle, send me your address.
Okay.
I want to send you that book I told you to buy a while back.
Okay. Yes, I will send you my address.
Okay, cool. I love you, ladies.
Love you too. Thanks for looking into the glass, you guys.
They should know the look at the, they should just know the look at